Good day, and welcome to NAC TV's Coffee Chat. My name is Lyle Watson, and thank you for tuning in. We're quite excited about our program today, and we look forward to sharing some news and views on our new Kinsmen Kourts 2 assisted senior living residence here in Neepawa, and it's coming along very well. And our guest today, we're pleased to have Grant Lukin, the chairman of the board of directors from Kinsmen Kourts and Seniors Incorporated, and of course Dennie Phillips is also the secretary treasurer on that board and is also the current president of the Neepawa Kin Club. So Dennie and Grant, thank you for taking time to join us here today, and we look forward to sharing some of the things and what the progress and where we are at in the construction and what's coming up with Kinsmen Kourts 2. Of course, this picture here displays the artist or the architect's drawing of the outside of it, and we would like to just start with maybe first recognizing your current board, Grant, if you could. I know you people have been putting in a lot of work, and this doesn't happen overnight, and it's been years since it's been in the planning. And who do you have working with you on your board at this point?
Well, the board of directors compiles of 6 people from Neepawa, including myself. The board of directors was founded as a necessity because of Kin Court 1 in 1983 when it opened up, January of '83. So there was a board of directors, and on the board is myself, president. Dennie Phillips is our secretary treasurer. There's also Charlie Taylor, Perry Snedden, Brian McCutcheon, and I think that's it.
Okay, well.
5 of us, not 6.
Well, things change, and I'm sure as we go forward, board members will change. There'll be new members coming on in due time, because for some reason we tend to age a little bit, and things do change, which is good. The initial idea, Grant, come from where? Where did you start, and when did you start planning Kinsmen Kourts 2?
Well, I would say back 10 years ago, at least 10 years ago on the board, we felt that as soon as our current building was paid off through CMHC, we became aware of we're accumulating funds. We invested it well, and it still grew, and we were looking for projects. We approached the town on the Eastview Lodge property. That didn't go through. And then there was several other properties for that, or designs for that property. We were going to put condo units on there, but it just, the cost overrun was too high. So we stopped that, and then when the Salvation Army property came up for sale right directly in front of the Kin Kourts 1 building, we looked at the size of it, figured that we could build not a large building, but a tall building there to accommodate, which it is 5 stories tall, and there's 48 suites, 12 on each floor. But that's where it came from. So the process basically for myself on that was about 4 years ago. That's 2018, when I met with the town's representative, Marilyn Crew, to do a needs assessment on whether we could support an assisted living in Neepawa. So we decided to do the needs assessment. That took several months to do, to get back. We found that the needs assessment shown that we were only scratching 35% of the market area, and that our market area is about 50 miles in circumference around Neepawa. And we decided to pursue it further. So we hired a what would he be called?
Consultant.
Yeah, a consultant to, and in that consultant field, the person, Dennis Seawack, that we hired, this is a job that he's familiar with. He's done several of these types of buildings throughout the province, and he was retired at the time, so we pulled him out of retirement, and he's been our manager of the project between us and CMHC.
Well, it's a pretty exciting project to think of a community our size that we're going to be able to offer to Neepawa and area a 48-suite assisted living, something I think is quite needed here in Neepawa and our area. So looking forward to the day it opens. In terms of the construction aspect, the architect, the contractor, Dennie, can you kind of give us a bit of background on how that come together?
Yeah. We sent out for tenders. First off, for the architects on the project, we'd received several different ones, and we actually selected Affinity Architecture is our architect on the project. T.L. Penner is the general contractor on the project. Things are going really smoothly at the moment. We're fairly close on target for completion of the project. We're within our budget. There's always construction things that come up, but everything's progressing fairly well on the project.
In terms of your completion target date, can you give us an approximate date that you might feel that's going to be completed?
Originally it was targeted to be completed about the beginning of August as far as construction went. We're probably looking at, by the time we get everything cleaned and everything up to date, I would like to say we're still hoping for mid-September, but it could be October before we can actually have the doors open for people to start moving in. That, I think, is about right, eh, Grant?
Yeah, we've had some setbacks that are unforeseen in coordination and getting things done, but it's hurdles we challenge us every week on a weekly basis. But I think our mid-July opening is, I think we're about 4 weeks more would put us more comfortable. Yeah. So what Dennie said in August, at the end of August, we'll probably have it finished and signed back over to us.
But that's still quite realistic for the fact that 48 suites and the lower level with all the amenities, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I'd like to just touch on the projected cost of the building as we can see it here. Grant, could you share that?
Yeah, the total cost of the project is around 10 million. That's finished. The financing is a lengthy process. We went back to CMHC because we had a comfort level from 1983 on the first Kinsmen Kourts. We struck up with our manager, Dennis Seawack. He knew people within CMHC, within Manitoba Housing. Terry Kozak is one of the other people that helped us along for Manitoba Housing. And it just kind of mushroomed into what it is now.
Well, it's certainly progressing well. In terms of the facilities and some of the amenities in the building, Denny, aside from the 48 suites, the main floor consists of what then? There's no suites on the main floor?
No. On the main floor, we've got a manager's office is on the main floor. There's also the dining room because it's an assisted living. We are providing meals to the residents of KK2. So there's a huge dining room area. And there's, pardon?
The seat's 110.
110,
yeah.
Yes. There's also a recreation room that's on the main floor. With a fireplace, TV, those kinds of things. I don't think we've got pictures later on. And it also links, some people may not realize that, but KK2 will link over to KK1 building. It'll be all an enclosed link when we're finished. So residents having to enter in for KK1 will come in through the front door. We'll be buzzed in through the front door. So mainly the main entrance will be on the main floor of the thing. Yeah.
Now, in terms of the suites, Grant, you have 4 levels. Different styles of suites, or are they all identical?
They're all, there's 12 suites per floor. They're all basically the same. There's a little bit of square footage difference. They run from 465 square feet, and that will be your outside perimeter ones, your perimeter corner ones.
Yeah.
Pardon me, to where you get into the interior where the jut outs are, where they're up to 565 square feet. And still 1 bedroom with a bath. And it's all, that water. It's all wheelchair accessible, so the bathrooms are quite large. And the bedrooms are, they're big enough to get around with your walkers and your wheelchairs.
Well, let's start. Can you come up with some pictures of the interior of the suites and maybe a bit of the floor plan?
If we go to this suite here, this is a typical entranceway to the suite, where you would come in and you have your storage closets, and then we have a small fridge and freezer with a microwave, sink, and limited storage. enough room for a small table. This door you see here is a sliding door.
And that sliding door
That
enters
goes
into
into
what?
the bedroom.
That's the bedroom, okay.
So this
Ask
here,
what?
oops. This here would be the living area in the suite. So you kind of come in through the front entrance and you come down. It's all open concept through to the living seating area. Some of them, depending on the size, would be the reverse of the building or the layout. Color schemes in that for women that like these things. This color schemes in the suites. There are two different kind of color schemes that we'll be going through, but they're fairly basic.
So just looking at the picture there of the suites and the design, they are all wheelchair and walker friendly type of thing?
The whole building is.
The whole building?
The whole building.
So if you're wheelchair bound, you can get around easy, considering.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
scooter accessible.
And scooter, oh, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, okay.
lower level.
Okay, so what's our next picture then?
This shows the dining room area. That's the jut out on the main floor. This part here
Yes?
that
Oh,
comes out. That's
So that's facing south then, right?
This would be facing southeast. Okay, the entrance door would be on the far side there, where Denny is. The kitchen is back in here behind that wall. But the seating is basically what you see here. It'll be a four seat
Yeah.
small table with a dividing between the two tables.
And how many people does that accommodate again?
110 seats. So
Just-
it is quite large.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Just while we're on that picture, while I'm thinking of it, those meals, 3 meals a day available for the tenants. They all have to come down, or can they get their meals delivered up?
It depends. Like we're not promoting a delivery service, but if you're that way that you would want your meal in your room, we can accommodate that.
And what about the tenants from KK1? Can they come over, and if they pre-order, can they get a meal there too? Or?
We have nothing finalized yet at the board, but yes, we're working towards that. So like we want both buildings to be cohesive, so we'll come up with a food plan for existing tenants in our first building.
That's interesting, isn't it?
And we're working on, and it's in the planning stages as well, for if somebody had a guest coming over, so they would be able to purchase a meal as long as we know ahead of time and can schedule it into the chef's planning for the project. So those details are in the planning and will be accessible for people. Just final details until we get our chef hired and our executive director. But they are looking at the same as the tables. They're seating basically for 4 people. But if there was a group that came in and we knew ahead of time, you could have tables put together. Or another one is, whether I'm stepping ahead, but we also have a boardroom that would be available in theory for bookings if if people wanted to get together with their families, as long as arrangements are made ahead of time. Those things we're looking at implementing in to make it easy for residents to meet with their families and have a meal with them.
Yeah. We have a guest suite on the main floor
Oh, you do
that
have.
you can rent. Yes.
That's a real nice feature too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of what we've enduring and come through and looking into the future with COVID. That room right there, the sociability and the fellowship it offers, is a big plus to the mental, the physical, and spiritual health of the residents, is it not?
Yes, it is. And we haven't decided whether these are permanent or whether they're semi-permanent, so we can move the design of the room around for larger functions and that. But we want to accommodate the people and the seniors. I find when I'm talking to them through the marketing for booking, they're lacking in their sociability with other seniors. They're just sure they live in a condo or in an apartment or in their own home, but there is no interact. There's maybe with their few friends they have left, or maybe their family. But in a building like this, where you got 2 adjoining buildings, which will have well over 100 people in both, we want to promote the recreational side, the activity side, the sociability, to get them feeling that, hey, retirement isn't that bad. like, you know.
Well, and I know even just now with the COVID, you were saying is right now the Kinsmen Club is actually delivering meals to residents at KK1 through the meal program that's existing at Yellowhead Manor.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So with the COVID, it's been hard for them to get over and access those. So we're in the process, because of construction, we're actually delivering it to KK1. So that'll be an option for, KP. They'll have their meals here. So if COVID breaks out again, they won't have to worry about leaving the facility for those kinds of things.
That is going to be a real service to our community. Our next picture there, Grant, would be what?
This is the multi-purpose room, which is right on the north side facing, you can see the walkway in the back there facing K1. It has limited space in it, but it's equally as long as the restaurant. At the one end, there's going to be a fireplace facade with bookshelves with fireplace and a big screen TV, nice lounging chairs to lounge in and socialize. They'll have round tables in there. They can play cards or do puzzles, or if we have programs such as a painting program, or somebody would come in and teach painting, or come in and do whatever crafts or
things like crafts. If there's residents in the building that would like to form a let's say a quilting group, or a quilting bee, or a can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but those types of things. So this room would be available for them to use that. Details and all that will be worked out with probably a resident board, hopefully, when they...
And as we go through, we'll talk about some of the other amenities and some of the services offered, but at that room, the multi-purpose room, brings to mind the question, is there an activity coordinator that will be working with the residents?
There will be.
Full-time activity?
We're in the process right now. People may have noticed that we're advertising for an executive director, and that executive director will be overseeing all operations of both buildings.
Yes.
And be responsible for the day-to-day and the hiring, and how we go to the next phase of getting a chef, hiring people to work in the restaurant. And I'm calling it a restaurant.
Yes,
it's not. We're not building a hospital here. You're going to feel like you're...
A dining room.
This is a dining room. And once that executive director is in place, and we're hoping to have one in place in a couple months, they will take charge of the planning and getting all that intricate stuff that you were talking about, right down to hiring a chef and doing the menus and having a dietitian on board, and then getting into the recreational side and
It is something that the board wants to see. So, but until we get that person hired and know how things are all going to work out, final details. But it is something that we are looking at.
That you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because there again, the activities are so important. We got some more pictures there.
Out there, but we got the picture of the main building here, and there's maybe we'll show that. Well, you can see there's a green space on the front of the building.
Yes.
We're doing an extension. We're eating up a couple parking stalls, but I think it's needed because there is really no large green space. So this will all be curbed around, so there'll be an area where we'll plant trees and shrubberies where they'll be able to sit during the summer.
Yeah.
And there'll be benches and things around the facade of the side of the building.
Yeah, there's another green spot that is out just between the two buildings of KK1 and KK2. That actually shows a little bit of where it is.
That's the link between the two buildings. There's another access door there to get into.
So this is on the north side of the new building then, is it?
That's the north side of the new building, south side of the existing building.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can see in here where the building cantilevers over, we have 4 parking stalls there, but they're for handicap only.
Oh.
Yeah. Parking that we have for the new build is across the street. The old ACC building, we bought that lot off the town, so that'll be turned into a 20-stall parking lot with plug-ins.
Okay.
Okay.
So there'll be ample parking for...
Well, we meet the almost 50%
quota,
what we need to meet. And as for downtown parking in Ipoh, it's pretty priceless. There isn't any. There's no big parking lots anywhere.
No.
But we're just barely meeting what we should have, and I think it'll work. Like the seniors that are coming into this building, or a lot of them that I'm talking to are not. They don't drive as much as they used to, and they probably would park their car for good if they had a facility like you couldn't get a better location in Neepawa for a senior's home, because you're close to every amenity in town. Like you jump on your scooter and away you go. Within minutes you're at the bank, or the Legion, or Safeway, or well, you don't even have to go buy groceries anymore. So
no, but you know, there will be a lot of the residents, I'm assuming, that will be able to still be mobile and be able to walk, and you know, like 5 minutes you're downtown and doing whatever you want to do, and it's like you say, the location couldn't be better in terms of our town and a building of that nature. Yeah,
exactly.
Is there any other pictures that you wanted to share with us there, Grant? Or
These are kind of hard to see, so I'm not sure that. They're kind of the layout of the suites, but they're kind of hard to.
Yeah, it's hard to visualize, but this is a floor plan. I should maybe mention that all this is on our website, and that's Kinsmen Kourts. Where's my book? Got my cheat sheet here.
We have a web page done up, so if you go into the web page that he's going to give.
Kinsmen Kourts 2, and that's the number 2, and Kourts is spelled with a K, so kinsmenkourts2.ca. That'll get you into the website, or you can go on Facebook. We have a Kinsmen Kourts 2 Facebook page, of which I've been putting pictures on of the construction from day one. So it's kind of interesting there also.
Follow that.
But if they go on the website, all this information is on the website. There's also a download of the application form on the website. So
let's just, for our viewers' information, there's 48 suites, and there are how many different designs, Grant?
I believe there's eight different designs, but they're all fairly similar. The only reason there's a difference is because of the elevators. I should talk about that. It's plural. We have 2 elevators in the building, not 1.
Yep.
One large one for doing larger movings, furniture in and out, and a smaller one for people movers. But we felt we'd pay the extra money, get the extra elevator, just in case something happens to one, we can still have the other one.
Okay.
But, yes, there's 2 elevators in the building.
2 elevators.
Yeah.
So there's, aside from a few square feet difference, the design is basically the same then in each suite.
Basically, yeah.
Basically.
It has to do more with just where the layouts are, the elevators, or whether you're corner suites or not.
Yep.
That's really the main change. Every suite has the entranceway with a storage closet. They have the dining room, small, with kitchen, microwave, stove, and a counter and sink, kitchen sink. You have your living room area and 1-bedroom suite.
And they're all 1-bedrooms.
They're all 1-bedrooms, and then the washroom
Is attached to the bedroom.
is attached.
Attached to it, okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the big questions is on everybody's mind, and the basic price per suite, including all the amenities, which we'll kind of break down after we get the basic price per month per tenant. Grant, could you share that information?
We have several price levels, and it's all based on square footage, so you just have to bear with me.
Yep.
I'll talk about one of the programs we have. We have an affordable package for assistance for people that are, if you meet our criteria of 26,000 in income and under, you can apply for the affordable, which brings it down to $1,785 a month.
And how many of those suites are available?
We have 15.
15 out of 48.
Yeah.
What could
And
be
basically, what they are is the corner suites on the building. Each of those 465 square foot suites.
Yes.
They're on each corner of the building all the way up. That is the affordable living ones.
Okay. So the next step then in price.
The next step is you get into the market suites, and that's when people are making well over the 26,000, and they go into the market side where we don't subsidize the rent. So they start at 20. I'm just going to go to my cheat sheet because there's so many of them here. Let's see here. market suites, let's see, a 478 square foot suite for one person would be $2,300.
Yes.
And a large suite, 556, would be $2,475. Now that's for one person. Now if you add your husband or wife in that, it's another $400 onto that.
Plus 400.
So the most, the $2,475 at for it is $2,875. So we're way under the $3,000 threshold. That a lot of builds that are being built in Brandon and Dauphin are way over. Way over that.
I was going to say that's going to be pretty attractive to a lot of people from outside our area also.
Yes.
So my question is this then, is there any preference given to Neepawa residents and Neepawan area versus somebody from Dauphin, for example? Do our Neepawan area people get the priority?
The people that we're getting in, and basically when we started the marketing and made it public that you could get an application at Stride Credit Union or download one, is basically first come, first serve. So the first one applicant in gets dated, gets numbered, and then we go up to the 48, and then it goes from there. And we just compile applications for future use.
Okay.
But some of these people this is just an application process. It doesn't mean you have to move in. You're not obligated by any financial means. You just send the application in. Like I say, we date you, we have it on record, so when we do in summer, we will be phoning the people from 1 to 48 and saying, okay, we're ready for you to come in, and we'll have a face-to-face and get more financial information from you. And you can pick your suite, and we'll give you a move-in date. So that's basically how that works.
Yeah, the board's kind of looking at once we have our suites so that people can actually see them, and that would be when we're sending out to this list of people that we've got, and where you are on the list is where you kind of get first choice all the way down.
So let's emphasize that point, and Denny, if you
Yeah.
would. Emphasize that point very clearly.
Yeah, it is important that if anybody is looking at wanting to apply for KK2, to be sure to fill out an application, send it in. You'll go on the list. We are now, Grant will tell you in a few minutes, we've already received several. You'll be put on the list in the numbered order at the date that we receive your application, and then the board will be approaching you, or the executive director, marketing person will be approaching you for final, pick your suite, this is what you want, put down your deposit, and go from there. So anybody that is interested, it is important, like even if you're not looking at moving in, let's say this fall, but you probably might be looking at next year, it would be good to get your name in on the application so that we can go through, because once our suites are filled at 48, your name still stays on that list for the next time one comes up, the same as KK1 does now. There's a waiting list, so you can get on your list and remain on a waiting list.
That's a good point.
And also just remember we have KK1 too that we're filling yearly.
Yeah.
So KK1 is a very low income, our rent is way under $600. I think it's around $550 a month.
Yeah.
For a suite, which is phenomenal for a residence.
Oh, it is.
So they can apply through KK1's process. That you'd have to get a hold of them.
So the initial application, there's no deposit required, so it's nothing out of your pocket.
There's a small, when we call you in after, like the initial application, no, but when you do come in, we don't want any big chunk of change from you. All we need is $500 deposit for damage.
Yeah.
And 1 month's rent.
And 1 month.
And then we set up a banking information where it just gets pre-drawn and transferred into our account every month.
So Grant, aside from the 15 suites that will be subsidized, there's no limiting criteria as to terms of a person or a resident's income as to whether they get in or accepted in or not, right?
No, we have, as long as they meet the criteria of seniors,
Yes.
their class as a senior citizen,
Yep.
they are able to maneuver themselves physically around, they're medically capable of being, looking after themselves. And that's basically it.
So it doesn't matter if I make 50,000 or 60.
We still need to see your assessment to
Yes.
make sure that you can afford to live in the
Yes.
market value
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
But once that's assessed, it's basically what your tax form says.
Okay.
And that probably would be one thing, not the money value, but the assisted living scope. I don't know if we're going to get into more of that, but what you get for the assisted living.
That's our next question.
Okay,
so.
then I'll just hold off for a few minutes.
Well,
but
let's just continue on that. For the existing cost per month, the assisted living, what does it all include, Denny?
The assisted living, it includes your meals, that's we spoke about already. The other one is the laundry facilities, laundry, your bed linens, those, they get done every week.
Okay, your bed linens, and that's all that gets done? Your towels?
And towels. Yeah,
okay.
bed linens and towels, they get picked up. We have there will be somebody coming around picking those up. They get washed, they get brought in. Light housekeeping. So
what does that consist of?
basically that would be sweeping the floors, wiping the floors in the main floor, doing the washrooms, cleaning bathtubs, toilets. A full clean in the washroom.
How often?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Once a week.
Okay.
And then they would be changing the beds. So they would come in, per se, the rough idea is a cleaning person would come in, they would wash the kitchen floors, wipe everything down, go to the bathrooms, do a thorough cleaning of the washrooms, change the bed linen, put your second set, on the bed, take them away, and then they'll be laundered in our laundry facility, which is in the basement, and bring back the following week to be put back on. I know that's one of the things that somebody that I know commented on. As you get older, making beds is difficult, depending on how you can build and stuff. So that is one of the pluses of the assisted living, is somebody's coming in. The other one too is because you're getting your meals daily downstairs, staff will get to know who you are, so that if you're not feeling well or we haven't seen you in a day per se, somebody would be checking on them. So we have somebody going into each of the rooms once a week, plus the kitchen staff would have an idea of serving staff of, if mom hasn't been down for a day or two, somebody would be checking on them.
What about personal laundry then? Where would the residents do their personal laundry?
Each of the floors has a laundry, washer and dryer on each of the floors, which is available free of charge for the residents. They can do their laundry themselves.
So it's not coin operated?
No, it's not coin operated.
Okay.
It's all included in your assisted living.
If they want their laundry done, we'll do it for a small fee.
Yeah, okay, so that service could be available.
We'll do it in our commercial laundry room that we have in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about, Grant, what about food in terms of diet or diet needs? Can they order specific foods? Or
well, we're hoping to, and that's part of the, when you come in to pick your suite, we get more personal information on your diet and your allergies, and some people can't have shellfish, or we want to make sure that you're getting the appropriate diet. We don't need a doctor's certificate or anything. We'll just take it, But
you will try to accommodate their need, or you will accommodate their needs in terms of dietary needs.
But I'm not a cook, I'm not a dietitian, but we are going to have people in place to do that to make that up for them.
Yeah.
And it would be very similar to, we've kind of researched on other assisted living residents. So whether it's a rotating menu, as in every 4 weeks, they set out what the menu is going to be, so everybody knows ahead of time of what it's going to be, and then accommodate where we can any specific allergies that somebody may have.
So the dining requirements, there's 3 meals a day served, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner served. If they don't want to participate, they would let the people know, I would expect. Yeah,
it'll be more, once we get our kitchen person, we'd be able to accommodate and give more information on that.
Yeah.
But the idea is that everybody's coming down for meals, but if they're sick or can't come down for it, if they're sick or can't come down for a meal, then arrangements would be made for somebody to take it up to them in their room.
Yeah.
Let's say for a week type thing. If they were on an ongoing where somebody was going to need further care, then it would different arrangements may have to be made. But off the top of the head, we're looking at, for somebody that has the flu for a week, the kitchen staff and the serving staff would be able to take their meals up to them where needed.
Like I should reiterate, we are not a full assist. We are
No.
an assistant. So you have to be, other than the
Yeah.
flus and the odd sickness and whatever. We'll
Just in
accommodate.
terms of amenities, though, I noticed in one of our first pictures,
Lower level.
included in the suite, is a small fridge and a microwave oven. So they can, for instance, make a sandwich or a bowl of soup one day, and long as they let the people know that they weren't going to be down for lunch, that might be okay. Or
I would imagine so, but we're not there yet. Like
No.
Denny says, we're not in that.
yeah, okay. But I guess the
that one right
important
there. That's it.
the important point is that there is a refrigerator and a microwave there for the use of the residents in their own suite,
Yeah, the only thing.
however they choose to use it.
That's right. So technically, they could make their own sandwiches or soups or, a microwave meal if they didn't want to go down for whatever reason. Yeah, that is a plus that some places do not have. There are no stoves, but there is the microwave, and there is a kitchen sink.
And a kitchen
And a
sink,
kitchen
yeah.
sink, which
And
makes
they
a
have
difference.
cupboards where
Yeah.
they could have a few dishes and whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What are some of the other amenities along with the services that are being offered in the assisted living?
It's gonna maybe hard to see, but if they could zoom in, but this is the basic layout. I'll just go over the basic layout. This is Davidson Street, Mill Street at the back, Kinsmen Kourts 1, Kinsmen Kourts 2, Collins Block, and that's MMP. The parking I talked about is here, the 20
Yeah.
stalls across the street. There's also parking underneath this cantilever, plus out front. There's parking. Well, maybe not in front of their building. But the lower level, I don't know if you can see that, but it starts at the top left-hand corner. There's a fitness room
Yep.
down there for the tenants to use. Right next to it is a hair salon where we have room for 2 hairstylist booths. We'll
And
be
they
hiring a barber, or lack of a
They
better
wouldn't
word.
be there 5 days a week, probably.
Well, it all depends on how busy they're going to be, because they're going to look after both buildings.
Oh, both buildings?
Both buildings.
So those services are going to be available to Kinsmen Kourts 1? then?
That
Yes.
is, that's something that we're looking at hiring or
Contract.
contracting it out to
Yeah.
somebody in the community.
Boy, that's interesting, isn't it? Yes, okay.
Also in that wellness area, I call it, there's a tub room, and I don't know if you can see it there, but we have a therapy tub that's in there, a jetted, heated tub where you can go in and have a massage or
Yep.
whatever. And then there's another room where it's going to be set up so you could have reflexologists come in, or if you needed some therapy, there'll be an private area there that can be done right where the tub room is.
Yep.
Also, there's a washroom down there. There's a waiting room off the salon, off the hairstylist salon. Then there's scooter parking. If we come across here, we have a large area, and that large area consists of tenant lockers. We have a locker for every suite, all 48 suites, for extra stuff that they have, like winter stuff or summer stuff, or just stuff they can't fit. Because our suites aren't large. They were never designed to be
No.
1,100 square feet and lots of space. They're made basically like a large hotel room. You go there to relax. You go there to sleep and watch your TV. The rest of the building is your recreational entertainment area. That's where you go. So in that area, there's scooter parking also. Don't know how many stalls we got there. I think there's about 15 stalls for plug-in scooters.
15.
15 stalls.
Wow.
15 stalls. That's also, there's mechanical rooms, and then there's walk-in freezers and all that. That's for the kitchen staff. It's right underneath the kitchen. And then we have staff room, garbage room, and then there's a double door that goes out to the back in between the 2 buildings. That will be a service entrance.
Is there extra storage for each suite if they require extra storage?
That is in the scooter rooms, just the lockers.
Just what's in
That's
there.
all
They're about a
that's
3
there.
by 4 foot by ceiling
Oh, okay.
height.
Yeah.
Or a lockable storage, like a chain link fence.
Yep.
Lockable storage.
Yep.
Where you can put all sorts of stuff in there that you can't put in your suite.
Well, that's the facility is certainly offering a lot of services, and needs for seniors. Man, it's very interesting. Application-wise, Grant, if you could share with me, if you could, where are we at today in terms of number of applications, and how is the demand looking at this point in time?
Well, we started four to 5 weeks ago with our application process, and like I said, our applications can be picked up at Stride Credit Union.
Yep. And
also on the internet, you can download it. Or if you can't get to any one of those, please phone the number that's advertised. It goes through a cell phone, which I look at every day, and I'll be happy to mail you a copy of it. Applications right now, we're at 26 applications, so we're over 50%. Our affordable living suites, we have 15. We have 6 applicants for those within that 26 people. So we're moving along pretty good. We've been received quite well. Everybody that I've talked to, and the areas from Brandon to Neepawa, there's a few in Neepawa that are existing in their existing homes that want to get out of their home and get into a facility like this. So they're coming from all over. Rivers, you name it there. That's where I get calls daily with information.
I find that very interesting and exciting to think that in our town of Neepawa, we're going to have a facility that is attracting people to come. And with those people that come as residents, come their families to visit, and it all just has a ripple effect to the betterment of our community.
Well, the thing is that, like, these people are not strangers. Most of these people are or have been from Neepawa.
Okay.
That have moved away and want to come back, and this is an opportunity to come back and be back home where they want to live. Wow. They've been forced out of the community, not forced, I shouldn't say that, but had to go elsewhere to accommodations, other different accommodations in different areas, because it wasn't offered here.
Yeah.
So now that we're offering this, they see that in the advertisements, and they give me a call, and we talk at length on how, and they're really ecstatic about coming back to Neepawa because they love the town, love all the amenities, the people that are here, and that's where we're at with it. Just if you're out there and you want to get an application, and I would advise that you do it post haste.
So Stride Credit Union, they have the applications there, online or phoning,
or just phone the number on in my book here.
It is out in the banner.
It'll be in the banner this week.
Is there with the web page and everything on it.
The phone number is 431. It's not 204. It's 431-351-0611. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, and one of the pluses too with the assisted living, I know for people that have older parents that they're looking at having to maybe move away from home, one of the pluses for the assisted living is the fact with the people being available we've got cameras that will be in the building. So, if there's somebody coming down or mom falls in the hall, they're being checked on. So this is kind of an interim compared to some of the other, like KK1 or Elks or whatever, where you're able to stage for a certain period, but you aren't quite ready to get into personal care home, or you don't qualify for getting into the personal care home. This is kind of the in-between so that you don't have to worry about moving twice before you're ready to.
Yes. Well, it's exciting that it's going to, Neepawa is going to have the facility to offer to the residents, but it's also exciting for our whole population in our community to have this service available. So on behalf of the viewers and our community, I would like to express appreciation for your local board, the Kin Club, and everybody that has worked and will work together in the future to make this a success. I don't know where the time goes, but our time slips away relatively quickly. So I'll start with you, Denise. Is there any final thoughts that maybe, have we missed anything that we should be sharing or you'd like to share with the viewers?
I think we've covered a lot of it, and I know there's a lot of information out there. The best advice would be to go to our webpage or the Facebook page, because you can see these pictures and the floor layouts. They're all there, so you can have a better look at what will be available. keeping track of, kind of watching things in the paper so that you know when these suites are going to be available for viewing. Other than that, I know myself with a parent that is older, those are things that this building is a real asset, I think, for family members that may be worrying about mom and dad.
Yes.
You know, as people are getting older, they may at one time would have had to leave the Neepawa area, whereas now they can still stay in the Neepawa area and visit with their friends in the community without having to worry about having mom checked on.
And they have access to everything
Yeah.
within a stone's throw, to say the least.
Yeah.
Grant, do you have anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yes, I do. And it's one of my fundraising, and we haven't started fundraising yet. We've done this totally on our own, other than CMHC is providing 95% of the 10 million. We provided 500,000. We are going to be coming to the community to raise funds for, and this is me talking, I would really like a van for the building so we can take seniors, once COVID is over, take them on trips to Clear Lake, to even to ride down to the park or to the doctor's office or wherever they want. I know they do that in Brandon. They have some large vans over there, and I sure would like, we don't have it in our budget. That's the whole thing. It's not in the budget. So we would like a passenger van that we could attach to the building and carry on from there, but we got to raise funds for it. So
is that the only fundraising you have to?
Well, we have lots of kitchen utensils and appliances and pots and pans and
Yeah, furnishings, those are
furnishings.
things, you know, all the
we
nice things that would be,
Yeah.
you know, that would make it look nice, those kinds of things, the furnishings, those are all things that we're in the process of purchasing. The green spot outside, that would be another area that the green spot is going to be available, but benches for things like that.
Like all
Those
the-
are all things
all
that
the
we're gonna be
flowers and
looking.
all the greens, like, we need that. That's what we need. Benches, all that, none of that's in the budget.
Well, you know, I think as the time progresses and people start to see the finished project coming on board, knowing this community, I think there will be a come together that'll just surprise you, and I think all those things that you're talking about can be accomplished, and the community will work together with you. I'm sure of that.
And we are a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
We do have a tax number.
Yeah.
Any donations, we would give you a receipt. They're totally tax, what do you
Yes.
call it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it can be a direct financial donation,
Yeah.
or it can be in other forms in terms of like other service clubs and whatnot too. Denny, remind me of the Kinsmen logo. What does it really say and what does it mean?
Neepawa Kin, I'm the president of the club this year. It's serving the community's greatest needs. It's actually the 100th year for Kin Canada. We've been participating, our club is fully behind the assisted living. It is a service that seniors in our community are precious to all of us, and this is a real asset that will be serving the whole community.
But going back to that logo of serving the community's greatest needs,
Yeah.
you have fulfilled it to the utmost in the construction of this assisted living facility that will be offered to our community very quickly. And the other point I'd like to make, Grant, is Kinsmen is strictly Canadian. It's not an international.
Nope.
It's a Canadian service club serving the community's greatest needs.
That was founded by Hal Rogers back in, well, 100 years ago.
100 years.
100 years ago.
Wow.
And there's a lot of members still in Neepawa here. I know you were a kin member, and you were actually on the board that did the first phase of our K1. So it's nice how it comes around, you know, for the next generation of kin to pull their socks up. And I know we put a lot of playgrounds in Neepawa,
Yeah.
and a lot of other stuff we fundraised for, but this is by far the largest, and it's also one of the only projects that CMHC is funding in Canada.
Oh, okay.
It's the only one in Manitoba, I know that for a fact. Maybe not in Canada, but it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pilot project for them
Pilot
to,
project,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, again, I'm going to, on behalf of our community and behalf of our viewers, thank you, Denny and Grant, for taking the time to be with us today, but also for putting so much volunteer effort and working together to see this come to being. It's quite exciting, and I'm looking forward to it, and I think we'll put the challenge out in terms of fundraising, and I'm sure there will be some responses for that.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you
you.
for taking the time to join us, and to the viewers, thank you for joining us and watching the program. It's a little longer than we usually take for Coffee Chat, but I hope that you've picked up some of the pointers what's happening with the new Kinsmen Kourts assisted living here in Nipawin, a very exciting project. And I would remind everyone that's viewing today, if you or someone you know would like to consider living in this assisted living residence, please get your application in as soon as possible. They can be picked up at Stride Credit Union or by phoning the number that Grant gave us earlier, or just going on their website. That number is there. And don't wait till it opens to get your application in, because there's no obligation other than getting it in and getting your name on that list. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Have a good day. Until next time, take care and stay safe and healthy.